Yes. So before we begin with the workshop, we saw a small video by our host. And now I would like to introduce myself to you all. So, hello teachers. Welcome to the webinar conducted by the Educators Guild of India. I am Sampurna from the marketing department, and I want to wish you all a very happy Teachers Day. It's World Teachers Day. So yes, happy Teachers Day to you all. And thank you for participating in this webinar. Dr. Dhrumin Pandya is our guest speaker for this webinar. He is a very influential figure in the field of education and very well known for his innovative approaches to teaching mathematics. So, before we start with this webinar, I would like to give you all a brief introduction about what Educators Guild of India is all about. So, I'll just quickly share my screen with you all. Give me a minute. Yes. So, is my screen visible and am I audible? Okay. So, we are the Educator Guild of India. We have a vision of transforming education together. We envision to create a global community of teachers where we can unite them to inspire growth and overcome the challenges through collaboration, and so that we can foster inclusivity and creativity and a lifelong learning. Our mission is to empower educators worldwide. At the Educators Guild of India, we aim to empower all the teachers around by providing them with the tools, the webinars, and all the support they need to inspire the next generation of leaders through collaboration and innovative learning. We are the biggest and the fastest growing educators community in the nation. We want to create a one-stop platform for all educators to connect, support each other, and empower journeys in education. And why Educators Guild of India matters? Because we provide you professional development. We are going to provide you with all that is needed to enhance your skills and career through your innovative training, through mentorship programs, and your goal oriented programs. We are also going to provide you with peer support. We have created a platform, we have created communities where you can connect with your fellow teachers for professional advice or for sharing your best practices for mutual growth and to form a very supportive network. Apart from that, we will try to provide you with job assistance. Whenever we find an opportunity coming, we will keep you posted real time. For that, you have to join our community, and I will be sharing the link with you all in the chat box. Educational resources, yes, we are going to provide you with all the webinars that will be relevant for today's education, for today's teachers, and all the materials to stay updated on the trends. We are very happy to announce that we have already enrolled 10,000 plus teachers from 2,000 plus schools covering 1,000 plus cities in the country. So we are very happy on these milestone achievement. And apart from that, I would like to tell you about our previous webinar, which was an absolute hit, where Dhrumin Pandya took a webinar on the AI tools for all subject teachers. And in case you have missed it, you can find the same recorded video on our website. The link will be shared with you. And as already said, it was also a very hit, and we were all very, very impressed on the positive feedback that we received. We In our website you will also find very relevant blogs on how to become a teacher and all other topics that you as a teacher will want to or need to read. To be When you enroll to be a part of the Educators Guild of India, you can enroll with us as a professional teacher, a panelist, a freelancer, and a guest speaker. So we have opportunities for all the teachers. So we have got WhatsApp communities subject wise so that you can connect with your fellow teachers for focused discussions, for resource sharing, professional growth, opportunities in networking, and peer support. We have got 20 plus subject groups where you can connect and communicate with your fellow teachers. So that is it. And I would like to keep it short for now. And I would like to invite Dhrumin Pandya, Dr. Dhrumin Pandya, to take over and begin the session.
Thank you, Sampurna. A very happy Teachers' Day to all of you and team. Uh, Thank you, teachers, for your wonderful response to the previous workshop, which was on AI tools for teachers. If you have missed that, and if this is the first one, you have recording, and also in future we are planning to take that workshop once again. The reason I prefer live session is that I constantly see chat and I constantly see what you expect from me, and the workshop goes in that direction. It is not like some premeditated workshop in which I will show you slides and go. It's a platform which is enabling us to interact with each other, and I think we should take maximum of it. So the reason why I'm here today is to conduct a workshop on teaching maths with manipulatives. Uh, so I'll start with what is happening in the field of mathematics, what is new. So the biggest change what we had this year was this. I'll share my screen. I hope it is visible. So these are pages from new NCERT class 3 textbook. Uh, the last chapter is about the Suraj Kund Fest, and after that, if you see, there is a dot grid on the right. There are number cards given to students. There are fraction cards. There is 10 gram. There is square. There are nets for cube. Similar things we also saw in class 6 book also. So this is learning material sheets, 10 gram, fraction wall, some tiles with border, and things like that. So what are these? Earlier we never had things like this in any NCERT mathematics book. So why it is happening now? And the answer is in new education policy. Before new education policy, a big change came in the field of education in the form of continuous and comprehensive evaluation. Now, as the name suggests, it is a evaluation style. So most of the radical changes that happened under CCE were related to the assessment part, the evaluation part. But the purpose of that scheme was also to achieve holistic education, which is totalistic in manner, which is covering different aspects. Now, one thing we can understand from that is without holistic teaching, holistic evaluation will be of no use. If our teaching is not holistic and we just change our assessment pattern, it won't give us good result. So when new education policy was formed, before that many position papers were presented in which different policy makers took feedbacks from different teachers like you and me, and then they came up with. So this is not something which they came from nowhere and now they are implementing. It is a well structured, well planned thing which is happening. Even after launching new education policy in 2020, it took them 2 to 3 years to make a national curriculum framework. Now, if you go through national curriculum framework, you will see a term called pramanas. So before I start with math manipulative, I will show you a slide which will talk about pramanas. So I will just scroll to the page. Yes. So the page on the screen is from my book Mathverse, which is talking about pramanas. Now, NEP also talks about pramanas, but the reason I'm preferring this particular page is this is specially for maths. So, how pramanas are working with mathematics, we can understand. So, pramanas, what are they? So, basically, pramanas are six different ways of learning. Now, why we need six different ways of learning is because the achievement of learning outcome is not enough. So, I learned from a I learned one example from my mentor, and this I always use whenever I have a chance to show the impact and importance of pramanas. So we'll quickly do that activity, for which I want you to use your chat box. Our friends from Anand Niketan school are not supposed to reveal the answer because you might be knowing, because my mentor also is a part of your school. So when it comes to achievement of learning outcome, most of the times we are concerned about the formulas, if a child is knowing the formula or not. So I ask you one simple formula. You please write your answer in the chat box. The formula is very simple. What is the formula to find area of a rectangle? So you use the chat box to L into B. Yes, very quick, very quick. Rajkumar sir, I think you were the first one to answer very fast. Yeah, and lot of answer. Thank you, teachers, for the overwhelming response. Just keep writing your answer in the chat box so that I can see. Now, which is the most popular paper size which we use in taking printouts or making notes? Okay, A4, A4, A4. Perfect, perfect. So learning outcome achieved. L into B formula सबको पता है. General awareness is there. Everyone knows that area of uh, paper area of size of the paper is called A4. Now my next question is, what is the area of an A4 size paper? What is the rough area? I mean, you can estimate it. Area of a rectangular paper. So we know L into B. We are familiar with the yes. So 50 square inch 1.6 into 2.54. वर्षा मैम यूनिट नहीं लिखा है, आपके मार्क्स कट किए जाएंगे. 600 square centi. So 50, from 50 square inch to 600 square centimeter to 48 square inch to 210 multiply by 297, 330 into 10, 300 square centimeter, 15 into 5 square centi. So see, when I asked about the formula, we knew it. When I asked about the popular paper size, we all are familiar. But you see the variations in our answer. And this is something the national curriculum framework want to change. So yes, so now stop writing the answers. Now I think I made my point clear that when it comes to being able to do things or estimate things, we all get stuck somewhere, even if despite us being math teacher, and this happens to everybody. Okay, don't worry, nothing is wrong with you, but it's just that we never thought about it. So I'll share my screen. So, Pramanas talk about six different ways of learning. And what we are missing in our education system is inference and postulation. So, if you see, there are six ways of learning, but if you see the way we ask questions, if you see the current pattern also, if you see the kind of questions that are asked in books, they hardly cover any inference part or postulation part, which is necessary, and national curriculum framework expects us to do that. Other than that, there are four more parts. So first is pratyaksha. Pratyaksha covers anything which a child can touch and feel. Most of the TLM we prepare and we show and we use falls under this category. And extremely opposite to Pratyaksha is Abhav, Anuplabdhi, non-apprehension, where we use symbols like X and Y and notations like that. So Pratyaksha means looking at things as they are, and Anuplabdhi is non-apprehension of things. Now, there is one approach called Singapore Maths approach. So I'll just quickly search what is Singapore Maths approach. I'll clear all my drawings. Go to select mode. I hope my screen is visible. All right. So CPA approach. So CPA approach stands for concrete, pictorial, and abstract. It got popular when it was used in Singapore maths, right? So what CPA approach says that first you can teach with the help of concrete things, something which a child can touch and feel. Then you can use pictorial comparison between the tangible and the abstract symbol, and A stands for abstract, right? So here is an example. If I'm actually counting things, I'm doing concrete. If I'm drawing them, it is pictorial. And if I write 3 plus 2 is equal to 5, it becomes abstract. So this is how CPA is working. Now, going back to our pramanas. In our pramanas, this pratyaksha is like C, concrete things which we can touch and feel. This anuplabdhi is abstract, where we use symbols. And this comparison part, this upmana, is a bridge between C and A, where most of the times we use pictorial representation. So as I said in the video that many teachers when they saw manipulative, they felt that okay, Indian education system is implementing CPA approach or Singapore approach. It is not absolutely right because the pramanas, the panchapadi, the panchakosha vikas, these are the things you must see be seeing in our national curriculum framework, and they most of these things come from Indian culture only. We are the oldest civilization, so most of the times things come from Indian origin but gets popular when it is accepted by Western countries. So instead of restricting ourselves to just to CPA approach also, I think we should go a step forward and work on Anumana and Arthapati. Now these things are very useful because frankly when a child can see maths, it does wonders for them. So I'll run few slides which I have prepared. for this particular session, and then we will see some examples in which I will show you that how uh, manipulatives can be used. So I'll present this screen. All right, I'll clear this, clear drawings. I'll switch off the annotate mode. I'll go to presenter mode. So last year with Inventant Education, we wrote Mathverse, a series for class 1 to 8. And last year, when we launched this series, it was purely in line with National Curriculum Framework because we had our National Curriculum Framework somewhere in the month of August. So in August 23, we had our National Curriculum Framework, and the first edition of Math was printed in November because we tried to introduce the concepts, the theories, the key points that are covered in NCF. So Mathverse is not something which is like just labeled as NEP NCF because I have school here in Ahmedabad, so I see lot many books which looks like their previous edition, which was like before COVID also. 5-6 साल से एक जैसा book कभी कभी दिखता है, but they have a sticker of NEP NCF. Now, frankly, when we are talking about pramanas or even Panchapadi, which I will cover in future workshop, you cannot do justice with NEP and NCF just by putting a sticker on your book and claiming it to be in line with NEP and NCF. You genuinely have to first understand what it says, why it says, how teachers will be able to use it, and then only you should do it. So we are a new book, but in less than 5 months we could reach so many students. I mean, the number of students which they who use our book is in 6 digits, so it is a big number. I mean, and achieving this in a 5 month is a very commendable job which our sales team did because they are always in touch with teachers, taking feedback. So last year we were saying we are the first and only series which has physical manipulatives with class 1 to 8 books, but this year we won't be able to say that because new NCRT books are using manipulatives. Now, why we could figure out that this will be introduced in NCRT book because the NEP talks about experiential learning. The NEP talks about hands-on activities, and the only way to do that in mathematics is through manipulatives. So, today's session will be dedicated to manipulatives. I am planning to take more session with math teachers on, teaching mathematics as per NEP and NCF. I want to take one more session on AI tools, especially for math teachers, because last week when we were talking about AI tools for teachers, I was giving examples of different subjects, but I want to take one more session, only for math teachers so that we can use different AI tools and make maths very interesting. And then I can take one more session on IT tools with mathematics because last year I visited a lot of schools. I visited different parts of India to conduct workshops for my book. So and most of the schools had that digital touchscreen board in their school, and when I asked that how you are using it, so math teachers सबसे कम use करते थे उसका. Very few math teachers have enough tools to be used on digital board. I mean, just showing PDF of your book on touchscreen board is not enough. You can do that on a projector or a TV screen also. But when you have that interactive feature, you should have that Indian mindset के पैसा वसूल होना चाहिए. अगर स्कूल ने इतना अच्छा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर किया है, so we should be using it as much as possible. So these are the sessions I'm planning to take, but let's focus on manipulatives. Okay, this is my profile. I'm IT engineer, PGDM marketing, diploma in innovation and creativity management, PhD in education management, B.Ed also. I'm mentor for change with Niti Aayog and mentor with Atal Tinkering Lab. I have designed one school to sustainable startup program, and 10th grader of our school got funding of 50,000 to start their business. So that is something which I also look forward to share with you. I am author of India's first and only textbook series with manipulatives. So that's me. uh, Now, this we have to understand. This is about Experiential learning. So experiential learning is not something that is working in one direction. Experiential learning covers different domains, and in fact, many polarized things are also covered. So, from active experimentation, we cover reflective observation also, and from concrete experience, we go to abstract one by grasping. So, these are all the eight directions that are covered in experiential learning. Hands-on math. Just one thing. Yeah. So hands-on activities, the manipulative based learning, it is a teaching approach that involves physical and interactive activities to help student understand and apply mathematics. So, instead of covering a lot of theoretical part, I give you one practical example. Uh, what kind of teacher are we? We have to ask. We are the one who explain x plus y whole square with the left one approach or the right one. Now, most of us make students remember the formula by writing it again and again. And trust me, when I became a parent, I became a better teacher because I see what my kid is feeling, when he's doing a certain thing. So when I asked my son to write x plus y whole square 10 times, he was like, okay. So I was observing him writing it. So he wrote it like first time he wrote x plus y whole square is x square plus 2xy plus y square perfectly fine. Then I asked him not one time, you write it 10 times. So suddenly you will see change in his handwriting in line number 1 and line number 2, because when I asked him to write it once, he was happy with it. But when I asked him to write it 10 times, he saw it as a punishment. So he started writing like bracket, 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 x, 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 plus, 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 y, whole square, whole square, whole square. So why he was writing like this? If you see number of characters, even if you go horizontally or you write vertically, you have to write same number of letters, same characters are there. But when a child is feeling that he is punished and he's supposed to write it 10 times or 20 times or maybe 50, and we have students in our class जो 10 बार लिख के आएंगे 20 बार लिख के आएंगे तो भी कभी कभी 2xy भूल जाएंगे, because this is something abstract. So first we have to create that experience with tangibles. Then we can introduce some pictorial comparison, and then we can take it to the abstract one. So I'll use my annotation. Now consider this red square. Its area is x square because its side is x unit. So side is x unit, area is x square. We have one more square here in green, right? So the green square, its area is y square because its side is y unit. And we have two rectangles and we know opposite sides are equal. So if this is y unit, this will be y unit in the rectangle. If this is x unit, the side opposite to it would be x unit. So area of this rectangle is x into y. If you rotate the rectangle, the area doesn't change. Area still remains x into y. So, with the help of these four shapes, we have a big square. I am tracing the outline of the big square. Please forgive me for my mouse control. It's not very smooth, so the line is not straight, but it will give you some idea about the square I'm talking about. So, this big square. Now, its sides are x plus y because this much is x unit, and further we are going y units from here. Again, if you see the height, the red part length is x, the blue part here is y unit. So here also the height is x plus y. So basically it's a square with side x plus y. So its area would be x plus y whole square. Now if I see this diagram, the area is divided in four parts. So which are the four parts? One time we have x square, one time we have y square, and two times we have xy. So that's why this area is x square plus 2xy plus y square. So this is magic of manipulatives. If we use squares and rectangle to explain this formula, we will increase the chances of our teaching being efficient. Right? This is one example. and we will see lot more in this workshop. Okay, so stay tuned. Also, different kinds of manipulatives are used, and manipulatives do not have any specific number related to it. Yeah, they have a shape. So I'm considering three different scenarios here. In the first scenario, in the first scenario, I have a triangle, and let's say the area of this triangle is 1 unit. Now, if you see this blue parallelogram, the pattern blocks are designed in such a way that you can place them one on the other. So the parallelogram is actually made up of two triangles. So if the green triangle is 1 unit, obviously area of this would be 2. Now if you see this trapezium, and if I draw like this, it will help you visualize. Nidhi Jain ma'am, please let me write. This will be distracting for other teachers if you write in between on screen. Yeah. So the ray trapezium, we have 3 units, and if you see this yellow hexagon, there are 6 triangles in it, like this. So its area would be 6 units. But this is when I'm taking this base case as 1. Now, if I take this ray trapezium as 1, so my yellow hexagon will be 2 unit. This would be 1/3, because if you see the green part, the green triangle is 1/3 of it, because there are 3 triangles in it, 1, 2, and 3. And if you see this part, this will be 2/3. And if I change the notation, if I take the hexagon as 1, so the trapezium would be 1 upon 2, the parallelogram would be 2 by 6, and triangle would be 1 by 6. So these manipulatives will help students touch and feel mathematics. Now, if I take this as 1, and if I want to show them one integer 1 by 2, I have to take this one and this one. So together, its area would be one integer 1 by 2. And I can go on and varying. But this is something new to the teachers, because we were not taught like this, but we are expected to teach like this with the help of manipulatives. There is one interesting manipulative from 10 gram, which you can use, right from kg to higher grades. So we'll see that also. This is my favorite example. Most of the times, instead of explaining the concepts, we explain the process. So, if I have to convert 7 upon 3 into a mixed fraction, the standard process we all teach is, okay, 7 upon 3 है, so 7 को divide करो 3 से, 3 2s are 6, remainder is 1. एंड देन वी टीच द प्रोसेस कि ये 2 को आगे लिखने का, 1 को ऊपर लिखने का, 3 को नीचे लिखने का. नाउ प्रॉब्लम इज, if a child asks why this is the only way to do it, or why are we doing it, many of us will not be able to answer, because the way we were taught, it was some other national curriculum framework, the expectations were different. I'm not saying that NEP or NCF at the time we were studying is not proper, but at this point of time, when students have this kind of exposure to videos and reels and everything which they are consuming, even in school or off the school, most of their consumption is in visual form. And if we are not teaching with the help of visuals, it will be very difficult for our learners to manage everything on abstract mode. And it will be very, very difficult for them just to remember the process or methods without understanding it. But the manipulatives are there now. So let's take this one as a base. All right. So what I do, 7 upon 3 is basically 7 times 1 upon 3. That means to convert 7 upon 3 into mixed fraction, I have to take 7 strips of 1 upon 3, and I have to start arranging them. Okay, so these are my 7 1 upon 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, when I place the third one, My one is complete. So now I'll go to the next line. 4, 5, 6, and 7. So when you have physical manipulatives like this, or when you have digital manipulative which you can drag and drop, don't worry about digital manipulative. In my next section, I'll share a tool with you which you can all use for free. But at this point of time, let's focus on my placement of 7 1 upon 3s here. So how many complete rows are there? Can you use the chat box and answer me? How many complete rows are there? Please use the chat box to answer. Yes, Sandhya ma'am. Fastest finger first. So two complete rows. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And the two complete rows are there. Perfect. Third row is incomplete. But what portion of third row is filled? One third? Yes. So one third of my third row is also filled. So my 7 1 upon 3s are actually two complete rows, and here two complete rows are there. So integer part is 2, and third row is not fully filled. Only one third of it is filled. So my fractional part is 1 by 3. So that's how we are coming up with two integer 1 by 3. When you give this example, it will be very easy for your students to understand the integer part and the fraction part, and based on that you can build the concept. Yes, mixed fraction, you can convert to mixed fraction with the help of a method like this using manipulatives. Now, so when I was writing my book and revising it, I took the liberty of introducing different manipulatives in book itself, because many teachers don't know. So this is a screenshot for fraction bar. The integer part, the fraction part, the percentage part, and the decimal part, they are interrelated, and we can show them using the same fraction bar, so that because sometimes students can do know what is 1 upon 2, what is 0.5, and what is 50%, but at times they are not able to see that they all represent the same. So in my book, what did I do? I wrote a section on teaching math with manipulative, and I gave lot of examples, because when I was going through the new class 3 and class 6 NCERT books, they are good book, okay, they are great books, but what I felt is it has manipulatives, but how to use the manipulative is not clear. So teachers who have not used manipulatives in the past, it might be difficult for them. And that's why when I was writing my book, I made sure that I give those examples in book with the sums, and make it very very easy for my teachers. So the tool I use very frequently for digital manipulatives is Polypad. It's not Braining Camp. It is like Braining Camp, because Braining Camp is free only for first month. Braining Camp is an amazing tool, but I want you to use it forever. So after 1 month, Braining Camp is paid, but the Polypad is a similar tool, and you don't have to pay anything. So I'll quickly go to the website and show you how it works and how we can benefit from it. All right, so in the chat box, I'm writing the name of the website, mathigon.org, and on my screen, I'll show you that. Okay, so my this is my mathigon.org, and if you see, it has a polypad section with all the colorful manipulatives. But I want you to see this section. It has courses and lessons. So if you are somebody who has not used manipulative, or if you want to learn more, you can always explore the lessons given by them. They are very interesting lessons. It will be very very helpful. like building 10-gram puzzle. We saw 10-gram in NCERT book. Now this is a interactive tool for that. So you can see how it is working. There is a click on, but hyperlink also. So if you click on the hyperlink, you will straight away go to 10-gram interactive, and you can change it. You can rotate it. So a lot of things you can do with the help of it, and you can teach, right? Going back to the original screen, it has also courses. So different pre-built courses are given, which you can use. Factorial is something interesting because in new class 6 NCRT book, we saw something like this, um, Sierpinski triangle, and this triangular design is seen at most of the places. But here is a interactive simulator of it. So the triangles given at the end of class 6 NCRT book is meant to be, it's meant for creating a pattern like this. But it's very difficult for a teacher to bring everything to the classroom and to make students visualize it. So when I was writing math verse, I made sure that I use screenshots like this so that learners can see it. Also, the reason I give a lot of screenshots in my book is not every class is blessed with a digital board or TV. We have so many classes where teachers are using Blackboard to teach math, and manipulative should reach that class also. So that's why we decided that okay, we should give manipulatives to students so that they can experience it, and teachers can use their Blackboard also to you know to show students how to use manipulatives. So I'll share my personal experience. I went to one school in Hyderabad to conduct workshop. It was somewhere in May or June, and we started our workshop at 10. They had amazing digital board, and I was planning to take my manipulative session on that. And suddenly, because of some, usually we don't see power cuts in Hyderabad, but that day some work was going on and there was no power. So instead of taking that session in a class with digital board, I took my teacher's training in school lobby, where we have a small notice board, and I was using that board to explain manipulatives. And we were there with teachers till 2 in the afternoon in 42-degree temperature. So that is the magic of manipulative. First, when you have something to share, teachers, they are so keen to learn, and that really encouraged me like anything. I will never forget that experience in my life, that in 42-degree temperature, on school stairs, I was conducting workshops with just one small notice board, and all teachers were attentive. But because they had physical manipulatives in their hand, if student does not have manipulatives, it's very difficult for a teacher to engage them. I'll give you some overview of this. So when you start Polypad, it will look like this. It has digital tool, drawing tool, sketch pen tool, highlighter tool, scale is there, eraser is there. There is a tool for text. So usually whatever you cover on digital board, it is there. There is an option of using an image also. So if you already have some scenario, you can simply upload the image, you can change color. So it has all the fields of a digital board. But the magical thing is here. So I start with number, tiles, and cubes. These are my favorite. So class one, we start counting by one. So this is my one, this is my two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. I can select them, I can bring them together, I can drag them together, right? There is also one option of merging them. So if I merge, my 10 ones became 110. So 10 ones make a 10. We can simply show like this. So 10 ones now, and you can split also. So you can ask student, okay, which number is this? Teachers, you can use chat box to answer which number is this. Please use your chat box to answer which number is this. Yes, Vidya Lakshmi ma'am. Thank you. 24. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So I write my 24. Now, if I do plus 48, if I do, let's say, let's do plus 40 plus first. So plus 40 means I have to drag four tens here. One, two, three, four. Okay, so I had 24s and I dragged four tens. So now I have six tens and four ones. So my answer is 64. But now let's change a number. Now let's change the number and see how we can show regrouping. So regrouping is all about arranging your tens and ones. So instead of 40, if I add the number 48, so I already have 40 here. I have to take 8 ones. So now if I put everything together, if I try to count them together, one, two, three, four, five, six. So now six tens are there. But if I write six here, I'll be wrong because I have to take care of the ones also. So it's too early to write anything there. I also have to consider my ones. So I have to bring all the ones together. For that, I have two options. One, I can drag manual or I can merge them and can make a long strip like this. So if I put here, these are like six tens. I just type it here. I have six tens and 12 ones. But this is not a proper answer, so I have to rearrange them. So I'll just regroup them. I place them here. So I split this and these two I put here. So now, and I can put a blue one on this, to show the color. So now what do I have? I have seven tens now plus two ones. So now we can show this entire process here that, hey, these are like six tens and 12 ones. So 8 plus 4, 12. So these are 12 ones. So you write one here and one 10 here. So you write this in one and this one in 10. And now if you see, if you count your tens, they are 7. So that's how regrouping is happening in case of addition. Similarly, if we are avoid avoid to annotate because it will distract the teachers. I'll delete it. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. So for subtraction, if you have suppose 31, and from 31, if you want to take away 16, so you have to take away six ones. But here you only have one. So what you can do, you can go here, you can split it, and now in addition to this one, you can take out five more ones. You can select multiple also and drag them together to be quick. And what is left? 25. Now, if you see the process, when I regrouped them, actually I took this away and I only had two tens, but I had 11 ones. And from this 11 ones, I took out six and I was left with five ones. So that's how regrouping is will be helpful. The next thing which I want to show you is an area model. So for that I'll use number grid. Okay. And let me assign the value. So the green square, if its side is 10, how much will be the area of one green square? Use the chat box to answer, please. 100. Thank you, Sandhya ma'am. I think this is for the second time you are the first one to answer. Very good. And this blue strip, if I say its width is 1, how much would be its height? Height of the blue strip. Height of the blue strip. यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक height कितना होगा? Please use your chat box to answer. 10. Perfect. Perfect answer. So what would be the area of one blue strip? Area of one blue strip again 10 होगा. ठीक है. Now can somebody tell me area of one orange square? Area of one orange square. Very fast, Shobha ma'am. One. Okay. Perfect. Very good, very good, very good. Your quick responses really encourage me. So keep doing that. Keep doing that. That means a lot. Now, okay, what I'll do. Fine. Let it be. So now I want how much will be this length end to end. Use your chat box to answer. 23. Perfect. And the height 12, 20. Somebody did a silly mistake, huh? Somebody wrote 22. 12. Height is 12. Okay, now we all agree. Now, so the area of this rectangle would be the product of 23 multiplied by 12, right? So usually we follow process of 23 multiplied by 12, 23 multiplied by 12, and we can directly write the answer also, because this green square is 100 in area, another green square, another 100. So these are 200. And how many blue strips we have? We have 3 here, and 4 blue strips are here. So total 7 blue strips and 6 small square. So if I write the answer 6 and 7 and 2, 276 is the answer. Now let's see how it comes with the method of multiplication. First we multiply by 2. So 2 3s are 6, 2 2s are 4. So 46. Now this 46 is what? Product of 23 and 2. Now this is my 23, the length, and the height is 2. So actually it is talking about this area. The 46 in my multiplication is talking about this area. Now many students they write 23 here. वो zero रखना भूल जाते हैं beginning में. That's where you can use manipulatives. You can show that, okay, this is not the multiplication of 1 with 23. We are actually multiplying 23 by 10. See this part, 23 by 10. And if you count the area, it will be 230, because the 23 multiplied by 10 part has 2 green squares and 3 blue strips. So 230. And 230 plus 46, 230 plus 46 is 276, right? So this is how you can show area model. Now using the same example, exactly after 5 minutes, I'll be showing you decimal multiplication. But before that, let's understand how decimals work with the help of manipulative. So when I was sharing number tiles, I also had this number cubes which I'll show. So if this is my 1, if this is 1, how much would be this? Use your chat box to answer quickly. 10. Perfect. How much would be this? 100. Great. And this 1000. Perfect, perfect, perfect. But if I change the notation, and if I say that, okay, now this is your 1. So obviously the yellow would be 0.1, the green would be 10, and the purple would be 100. So just by changing the notation, you can change the value. And similarly, I'll erase them first. Yeah, so similarly, if we use the green one as 1, this would be my 10, this would be my 0.1, and this would be 0.01. Now, I will keep this as it is. I'll zoom out a bit. I keep it as it is, but now I bring that grid again. So now, if the green one is 1, can somebody tell me what will be this length? आराम से सोच के बताना, हाँ. The green square is 1. Okay. The frequency reduced, the speed reduced. So that means it's time to slow down and see how it is 2.3. Okay. So the area is 1. So if the length is 1 and this is like a square, ye side 1, ye side 1, so area 1. So if this is 1, this is 1, this side is 1, area would be 1, this area would be 1, and this 0.1 is actually like 1/10 of it. So this width of blue strip would be 0.1. So we have 1 and 2 times 0.1. So total 1.2 here. I'll type it so that it's convenient for you to understand. So here we have 1.2, and here we have 2.3. And let's see what is 1.3 multiplied by 2.3. So 1.3 multiplied by 2.3 is how many ones we have? So we have 2 1. How many 0.1 we have? 3 here and 4 here. Now these are my 2 plus 0.7, 0.7. And how many 0.01 we have? So here we have 6 0.01s. So plus 0.06. Now if you add them together, the area will be 2.76, 2.76. Now this is decimal multiplication. This is decimal multiplication. Many students are, they get confused when it comes to decimal multiplication. So if 23 multiplied by 12 is 276, 2.3 multiplied by 1.2 is 2.76. But when we multiply, we don't write this because when we were in school, manipulatives were not popular. NCERT was not recommending them. So we all learned one common method. Decimal हटाओ, multiply करो, decimal वापस ले आओ. और decimal वापस लाने में बच्चे गलती करते हैं. But here you can show them. You can show them with the help of area model. You can show them how it is coming out to. Okay. So this length 1.2, this length 2.3, total area 2.76. And those who want to learn more about it can go to the Macagon website. I'll show you once again where they have activities, courses, and lessons. So different activities with the manipulatives they have given. They have different lessons also, and completing the square. Now here they are starting with some area models. Then there is a lesson plan in which they are writing value, and then they are actually doing factorization. So if you go back to my original explanation of x plus y whole square, the model which I used for x plus y whole square was something like this, right? So we had this length x and this length y. My x is looking like k. Okay, let me adjust it. Okay, this is x, this is y, this one is x, and this one is y, and this area is x square. This area is, the small one is y square, and two blue strips are 2xy, right? But we have more models like this. So similar, for similar notation, if I have this, so my, can you guess my length in this case? This much is x, this is 2x, 2x plus 1 time y, 2x plus 2 time y, 2x plus 3 time y. So this length is 2x plus 3y, right? And now we see the height. So this much is x, and then 1 time y, 2 time y. So this one is like x plus 2 times y. And if you see the area, if you see the area, so in first bracket we have 2x plus 3y. Just write it for you. Okay, so in first bracket we have 2x plus 3 time y, and in the second bracket we have x plus 2y, x plus 2y, and help me with the product of them, because I don't want to expand. I have my area model ready. How many times we have x square? How many times we have x square like this? How many times we have x square? Quickly use the chat box to answer. Yes, Balaji. It's 2 times x square. How many times we have xy? Remember, xy is this blue strip, huh? Xy is this blue strip. So how many times we have xy? 7 times. Perfect, perfect answer. And how many times we have y square like this? 6 times. Okay, perfect. So this is, the expansion is 2x square plus 7 times xy plus 6 times y square plus 6y square. Alright. I said this is still fine, but problem starts when we switch from expansion to factorization. Many students, they start with something and they end with the same thing. घूम घूम के वहीं पे आ जाते हैं. So let's see how we can help students learn factorization. So far we know area model. The thing we know about area model is that we are making squares or rectangles, right? We are making squares or rectangles, right? So if you want to factorize x square plus x square plus 5xy, x square plus 5xy plus 6. Now you want to factorize. Factorize मतलब दो ब्रैकेट लाना. फैक्टराइज मतलब दो अलग अलग ब्रैकेट लाना, या फिर दोनों बार सेम ब्रैकेट है तो वी राइट होल स्क्वायर. So factorization at this point is like whole square or this. There are other factorization also, but especially when we are talking about things like this, either L into B rectangle होगा या तो साइड का स्क्वायर स्क्वायर होगा. Again I'll give notation. So this is my first tool, uh, and this is x, area is x square. So we have 1 time x square, 5 time xy. So I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and 5, and 6 times this. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I can copy paste 3 more. Okay, so when you give manipulate, so you give a question like this to your students, that factorize x square plus 5xy plus 6. Factorization means you try different permutation and combination and make a square or rectangle. So you know your students will put it differently. कोई उसको vertically लगाएगा, कोई horizontally. They will try different things, and at the end, when they have a square or a rectangle, the only possible answer would be something like this. So, you know, if you see, this is the arrangement in which we have 1 time x square, we have 5 time xy, and we have 6 time y square. And if you see this length, this is x plus 3y. So this is x plus 3y, and the height is x plus 2y, x plus 2y. Also, so this will be the answer here, x plus 3y and x plus 2y. Also, this method is called splitting the middle term, and here middle term is xy, right? So this 5xy we had together is actually divided in two parts. In one part we have 2xy, in another part we have 3xy. So when you split the middle term, you write like x square plus 3 times xy, x square plus 3 times xy plus 2 times xy plus 6y square plus 6y square. And then you take common and conduct the factorization. Now, these manipulatives are like your runway. It will like help your flights fly. But then everything in mathematics is not dependent only on mathematics, right? So, first you have to use manipulatives, and manipulatives every time students cannot do trial and error by drawing, so you have to give them physical manipulatives, something a child can touch and feel. Now with maths, we are giving that with our books, but if you are using some other books, so first you have to make sure that students have these physical manipulatives with them, or there is something called algebra tiles which you can order online. But the idea is to give this manipulative to student. The reason I believe that instead of having one mathematics lab in school, we should give all the manipulatives to student, because most of the times, even if I visit schools, they have good math lab, but most of the tools are there in their wardrobe or their storage. A child should be exploring them, a child should be experimenting with them in order to give justice to the experiential learning which NEP is talking about. So that's why give as many manipulatives to students as possible, and that is the reason NCERT has given it at the back of their book. And they earlier they used to recommend a math kit and science kit, and we all know the impact of that. Hardly any school I have seen using those kits very effectively. Most of the time students have no idea what is happening. But If your school has invested in digital board, it's high time that you start using manipulatives. And there are some really interesting manipulatives. So let's go to fraction. So this is fraction. So 1 by 2 is 2 times 1 by 2. Percentage form में same is 50%. Decimal form में same is 0.5. So at just by a few clicks I can do these changes. I can delete this. Fraction circles are there. So this is 1 by 2. Now talk about equivalent fraction. So 1 by 2 is same as 1 time 1 by 2 is same as 2 time 1 by 4, and 2 time 1 by 4 is same as 3 times 1 by 6, which is same as 4 times 1 by 8, which is same as 5 times 1 by 10. Even when you can have angle notation also. So ये 180 degree. I delete the others so that you don't get distracted. As a complete circle, angle form. Now if I split 2 180 degree, 3 120 degree, 4 90 degree, 5 72 degree, 6 times 60 degree, 51. So you can keep dividing it the way you like, right? And it will give you some really cool tools which you can use. Another thing I really like is numbered cards are there, number frames are there, numbered bars are there, all different. Prime factor circle. Now this is very interesting. So my 2 is yellow, and 3 is green. So if you see my 6, it has a 2 and a 3. I have option of dragging it. So if I drag this part, 6 is nothing but 3 and 2. Let's see one more number. This is my number 12. So 12 is what? 6 times 2 or 3 times 2 into 2. So we have a thing called factor tree. We can use this manipulatives to introduce them. And you suddenly become very effective the moment you start using this thing in digital board, because most of the times I see math teachers are not comfortable writing on digital board. They prefer chalk or marker board. But when you have such a thing in your school, please use that. Dot arrangements are there, a lot of things are there. And the reason I'm giving screenshots about this in my book is initially not all teachers are comfortable using manipulatives, but then once you start using them you cannot go back. you know एक बार किसी टीचर ने मैनिपुलेटिव से पढ़ा लिया, फिर नेक्स्ट ईयर बिना मैनिपुलेटिव से पढ़ाओगे तो आपको सेटिस्फेक्शन ही नहीं मिलेगा. ठीक है. सो ट्रस्ट मी, दिस इज एडिक्टिव. And the satisfaction you get when you see smiles on your kid's face, the satisfaction you get when your students feel confident about mathematics, that is something priceless. Yeah, see, now here, when you teach with the manipulative, understand that it is helping a student clarify the concept. And when you are teaching any concept for the first time, don't talk about any misconception at that time. Let your students explore mathematics with the help of manipulative. Once they are comfortable with it, you can switch to the abstract one. So again, I'm going back to my pramanas. So the manipulative we talked about comes under this part, or maybe if there is a pictorial representation, it will come under this part. But you have 6 pramanas. So whatever you teach is not just restricted to these two only. Pramanas does not mean के ये सबसे अच्छा है या ये तरीका सबसे अच्छा है. नहीं. Pramanas means you make sure that you include all these 6 ways in your method. That's what NCF is expecting from us. It is not about rigidly or religiously teaching by only one method. Trust me, too much of anything is poison, right? But the right combination, the right blend of different teaching tools will surely help you. uh, there are different art integration activities also which I have introduced. So when we will have more workshops, I will share the concept of art integration. Art does not mean na कि draw करके आ जाओ. Art has so many domains, and in those domains you have to make sure. So we were talking about fraction, okay? So there is something called musical notes. So music में uh, सुर सात होते हैं ना, सा रे ग म प द नी. But when they sing, they always sing sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. Why do they do that? Because it finishes that chain of eight things, eight suits. Again, वो एट को अगर आप वन गिनोगे, सो वन पार्ट सा इज वन अपॉन एट, देन सारे इज टू अपॉन एट. So there are pairs in music, no? There are patterns in music like सा रे रे ग. So ये दो दो का प्रोग्रेशन है. फिर सा रे ग म प. So in my pattern chapter, I have given these examples right from grade one. So instead of A B, yeah, circle triangle, and patterns like this, students, can sing patterns like sare, rega, gama, and then ulta, maga, and then you can come down. So this is your class. See, NEP and NCF, the moment they introduce art integration, it has opened so many domains in our mathematics classroom. So अगर हम एनईपी और एनसीएफ आने के बाद भी अगर पुराने तरीकों से पढ़ाएंगे जैसे पुरानी टेक्स्ट बुक्स में पढ़ाया गया था, it will be the biggest injustice to our students, and we will be losing out a big opportunity of making our studies impactful. So it has lot many tools. It has balancing scale. There's something called function machine. It axes are there, tables are there, some variables are there. You can change the value and size. A lot of things you can do, but the point is one should be willing to change the way they have been teaching. That is the core thing. NCERT is trying hard, and we are also conducting a lot of workshops. Also, when I teach about math tools, I also want to cover simulators. Now, today's session is all about manipulatives, so I'm not going very deeper into those simulation, but I'll just quickly run through them. Okay, SAFL assessment. SAFL is structured assessment for analyzing learning. So, a lot of competency-based questions are there. These are screenshots from my book in which I'm like giving notation. So, ये जो notation है music का, वो भी फ्रैक्शन से जुड़ा हुआ है. लाइक दिस इज वन होल नोट. सो होल नोट ऐसा है मतलब वन, तो वो हो गया सा. देन हाफ नोट मतलब दो आएगा. सेम ड्यूरेशन में अगर आप सारे, तो वो हाफ नोट हो गया. देन क्वार्टर नोट में चार आएंगे, सो ड्यूरेशन सेम रहेगा बट चार सुर आप गाओगे. सारे ग म. एंड देन एट इज लाइक सारेगामा पधनिसा, एंड 16 इज लाइक शंकर महादेवन जी, सारेगामा पधनिसा सारेगामा पधनिसा. सो ये एक वो ताल जो देते हैं ना ऐसे ऐसे, वो सेम ताल. सो दो ताल के बीच का इंटरवल अगर होल है, तो उसके अंदर ये सब फ्रैक्शन बन के रहेंगे. And that's how the relationship is. So music is so beautiful. It's all mathematics. It's just that earlier we did not have anything called art integration. When we started introducing art, it was just limited to drawing and coloring. But art is way beyond that. If you see any architecture, if you see any symmetry, you will see that mathematics is there. So this is something which is really close to me, the simulators. And when I conduct in future, I'm conducting a workshop on teaching maths with the help of technology. Schools with digital board will benefit from that, because to introduce negative number, uh, the max we have done is using something like this, a number line. But now we are talking about case study based education and competency based education. So instead of old number line, we should see something like this. So if sea level is zero, anything in sky is positive, anything underwater is negative, and we can figure out a distance between them. So these are some really good tools which you can use in your classroom. You don't have to pay anything, you just have to know how to use them and start using them. And trust me, it will make your classroom magical. We have a lot of coding challenges also, that will help student understand how it is working. So these are the things that we are introducing now at this point of time. Surya, are you there in the meeting? Surya, are
Yes,
you
sir.
there in the
Yes, sir.
meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, teachers, even after I conducted last workshop, many teachers were interested in receiving a sample copy for math verse in their school. Even last year also, when we conducted similar workshop, we had teachers from Oman and Muscat, and they were also interested in exploring this, because math verse is more relevant because we made it after NCF. So this is like purely in line with NCF. It is not some old book जिसके ऊपर सिर्फ sticker मार दिया NEP NCF का. So Surya, can you share that doc, or you can share that QR code, so that teachers who want to see how we are teaching with the help of manipulatives and digital tools and ICT tools, they can have these books in their school.
Okay,
So
sir. Okay.
please,
Okay.
over to you. You share the screen.
Okay, sir.
You can paste the doc address in of Google Form link in QR code, and you can, I mean, in chat box the link, and you can show that. Yeah. In the meantime, I'll take the question. Yes, Isha ma'am, you have a question. Yeah, so my teammate Surya has pasted a link to the Google form, which you can fill up, so that we can send the copies of math to you. Also, I conduct a lot of school workshops also. So if only you were attending this workshop, and your colleagues in your school or your school leader wants to have one, they can do that. Yeah, you can type, ma'am. If you have anything, you can type in the personal window. So in group chat, we can have this form link. Okay, my colleague Surya is sharing his screen. So you can scan this for a sample copy of Mathverse. I'll also put my mobile number on the chat box. So if you have any doubt in future, you can be in touch with me also. I'm Dr. Dhrumin Pandya, and my mobile number is 9825303153. Here it goes in the chat box. Is there any strategy how to teach maths in higher classes? Yes, ma'am. One tool I highly recommend is GeoGebra. So today our scope was restricted to the new class 3 and 6 manipulatives, and things around them, the changes that is happening in class 1 to 8 maths. That's why most of the tools we showed were related to those students, but you can teach with the help of math tools in higher classes also. Even there is a chapter called area under curves, in integration, and most of the teachers teach that without technology. Now 10 years back, I understand most of us were following chalk and talk method, but now we have such amazing tools. So we'll be able to do justice to the concepts if we use these tools. So yes, GeoGebra is something you can explore. And today, after YouTube and especially after COVID, a lot of teachers are also sharing a lot of things. That is very, very helpful.
If the teachers have any queries, they can write it in the chat box.
Any feedback link?
Yes, we
Uh,
will be sharing a feedback form which you can fill up.
yeah. Certificate also. There are questions about certificate also. Also tell them after how many days we usually email certificates. So, because many teachers who are there with us today, they were in the last workshop also, and we are in the process of making their certificates and sharing with them. So just clarify
So
that
it
also, Sampurna.
usually takes 10 to 15 days. So yes, so in 10 to 15 days they will receive it. The feedback form has been shared in the chat box. You can uh, share your feedback there.
Yeah, so I'll just share the mantra we have for math verse. So yeah, Sampurna, can you see my screen? Yeah. So the
No.
the
Yeah,
math
yeah, it
was
has started.
yeah. So the math was mantra is empower students by engaging them to explore mathematics beyond numbers. So with NEP, with NCF, and with MathVerse, we are working in this direction. We have to empower students so that they are engaged in exploring mathematics beyond numbers, because maths is all around us. It's in nature, it's in music, even while cooking, there's mathematics. If the proportion is not proper, we instantly get feedback from our tongue. So maths is everywhere, and students should be loving mathematics. They should love to explore mathematics. They should be engaged. And trust me, manipulatives and games and coding challenges will make sure that your students are empowered through engagement in exploring mathematics beyond numbers. So this is something where I'm working. I'm constantly in touch with teachers. I learn a lot from you. I learn a lot when I come to your school. I learn a lot when you ask questions, and that is something is very constant with us. Thank you for your comments. They are really encouraging. If you really liked the workshop, please comment about it before leaving. उससे मेरा जज्बा बढ़ जाएगा, और अगले हफ्ते एक और वर्कशॉप लेके आई विल बी विथ यू. थैंक यू.
So before we wind up the meeting, I would
Okay,
like to.
one of the teacher asked about WhatsApp chat. So, can you show them the WhatsApp group
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah,
have for
sure,
men?
sure, sure. So I
Also,
just
if you,
wanted
yeah,
to give them a tour of our website so that even without having the link, they will know how to join the groups.
all right. So I am reading the messages on the chat because they are giving me some really good feedback and I'm loving it. In the meantime, you show them the tool so that we can be in touch on WhatsApp also.
Right, right, yeah. Is my screen visible? Okay.
Yes,
So
visible.
here, so when you come to our website, you will find a lot of information about what we do, what we aim to do, and what all facilities you will be getting as a part of this initiative. So, I will just quickly show you guys how to become a member. So, right in the beginning, on the first line, you have to click in this button, become a member, and then if you want to join as a professional teacher, a panelist, a guest speaker, or a freelancer, you can just quickly select your option and register now. You will be provided with a form. You just have to fill that. And after doing this, you can join our WhatsApp community, which is the most exciting part of our entire initiative. So, suppose you are a maths teacher. So, what you do is just search for your group, and there you go. You just click join now, and you become a part of our team. So it's that easy, and I will be sharing the link with you all so that you all can just quickly join. I've shared the link for the WhatsApp community. The teachers can join the group whichever interests them, or whichever subject they teach, they can join it.